What's going on, guys? It's Brad from Headbangers Podcast. Today we've got the boys from Cryptic Hatred on. We had Cryptic Hatred on in 2021, and now we've got them on again, 2024. They've come a long way since Nocturnal Sickness. We get to discuss the new album, Internal Torment, which is truly a modern death metal classic right now. And we get to dive into the breakdowns of the album, the atmosphere, just everything going for it, really, the vocal style. We get to talk about some nerd stuff like Star Wars along the way. But yeah, if you like the podcast, don't forget to like, subscribe. If you listen on streaming servers, don't forget to leave us a rating. Does help us out in the algorithm. And without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome back to the Headbangers Podcast, where your hosts Nathan and Brad here today. We're joined by Emil and Eunice from Cryptic Hatred. Welcome back, Emil, and hello, Eunice. Nice to meet you, man.
Thank you
How
so
are we all
much.
doing?
Good.
Very good, actually.
Oh, amazing, amazing. Right, so let's get straight started then. Honestly, I loved Internal Torment. Obviously we had Emil on when we talked about Nocturnal Sickness, which was a great record, but I've got to say, like, you've truly stepped up your game with this one. It's like even better than the last one. Like when you came back and you realized, all right, we need to step this up, we've got a new album coming out. Like, what were your thoughts going into it? Like, do you think, all right, we need to make this even better than the last one? Because honestly, it's a truly masterpiece, man.
First of all, thank you so much. Yeah, of course we knew that we want to improve from the first one. We had lots of ideas that we like what we want to achieve with the second album, like with the production and the songwriting, and even the whole piece. We just wanted to make it so much better than the first one, and I think we achieved pretty good. I like the album, and I'm super proud of it, and yeah, so super happy with the end result. I think the production is up there with, it's really good. I'm happy with the sounds. Of course, I still, being the songwriter, I know that there's still room to improve. Of course, like most importantly on the songwriting and even with the production a little bit, but all in all, I'm super proud of it.
Yeah, you're right about the production. The production is definitely like, because I listened to them back to back because I've been listening to Internal Torment all week, and I was like, I want to go back and listen to Nocturnal Sickness.
Yeah.
Yeah, the production and the depth of the album is a lot more concrete than the last one, for sure.
Yeah. We had like, I think it was like 35 mixes.
Something like that.
It was
ridiculous.
Oh, wow.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. We just wanted to make it, sound. We didn't want, like release anything that we weren't happy with. So that's the reason why we tormented only our mixer, with the production, but it was worth it.
Internal Torment based on the Mixer's experience then.
Yeah, definitely for only us, at least.
Yeah.
It was for us too, it was challenging, but we got to the result that we wanted.
Oh yeah. And like what were your main sort of influences going into this? Because like from listening to it, I'm getting like hints of Frozen Soul. I'm getting hints of like Domination Era Morbid Angel. And I even like some mixes of Gajera in there in some songs. So who were your main bands that you were sort of listening to and people that you were sort of influenced by whilst writing it?
Yeah, this is like always the most hardest question because with us we listen to such a wide range of music. It's hard to pinpoint like certain bands, but of course I will mention Cannibal Corpse. I haven't stopped listening to them, I never will, and that they will always, I think, influence my writing. But there was, I remember I mentioned Cradle of Filth in the first podcast that I did with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some Cradle of Filth going on even during the songwriting of this album. What else? Well, Cannibal Corpse, Cradle of Filth. I would like to say Turnstile, even because I fell in love with that band
Hell yeah, man.
songwriting, and I know it's pretty far away from Cannibal Corpse. It's like a whole different genre of music, but to us that doesn't matter. We can still get influences from any certain music. It doesn't matter to us because we just like good music. We don't pinpoint genres like that. We just listen to what we think is good music.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that you mentioned Cradle of Filth because I know you just said that you mentioned it in the first episode, but like, when I was listening to Internal Torment, the atmospheric parts and the sound effects that you put out of as keyboards or something else,
Yep.
when you like and you go into the atmospheric sections, like it is very Cradle of Filth-esque. So yeah, you can definitely tell that influence going in there. But
Yeah, there's
there's lots of
definitely
stuff like, Chasm of Void, like is my favorite song on the album, and like the
right.
riffs are so crushing in that. Like, that kind of leans into like I guess more modern death metal and other songs like, very reminiscent like Nathan said of like Morbid Angel
Yeah,
era death metal. So it's a nice blend that, it never gets stale. Like every song's a bit different. So yeah.
yeah. Well, I can mention. Well, of course, I listen to Morbid Angel. Like no question. I love that band. But then I can also mention Knock Loose. We listen to that quite a bit of too, and other hardcore bands. I know our drummer Tato likes a lot of hardcore bands, so I think his drumming influences are pretty much from there. And he also listens a lot to hip hop, so that's where he probably gets influence too. But yeah,
Oh
Morbid
yeah.
Angel, Cannibal Corpse, Cradlefield, Turnstile, Knockloose, some modern, some old school bands, and I think that kind of, you can hear that it's modern mixed with old school.
Oh yeah. And I feel like this album, like you as a band really mastered breakdowns. Like not saying the ones in the old album were bad. This one
Yeah,
they hit when they need to hit. They hit
yeah.
harder than before, and they don't overstay the welcome. They know when to end and when to come in, and they fit the song very well. Was this something as a band that you was intentionally putting effort into, or was it just something that gradually happened naturally whilst writing it?
Well, I feel like we felt that some songs definitely needed breakdowns, right?
Definitely did.
Yeah, so we didn't want to overdo it. We have like three or four breakdowns on the new album, I think. And we just, felt that the song needed a breakdown. And that's why,
Tasteful breakdown.
yeah, we can
I
still,
like that.
improve even on those. I think they're pretty good. We used some bass drops and some filters on those breakdowns on this album, which really helped with the sound. But yeah, I think, sometimes the songs just, they kind of like yell for a breakdown. That's when we decided to go for them.
Yeah, I guess that's where the not loose influence comes in with the
Yeah,
amazing breakdowns, right?
definitely.
But like you said though, like the sound effects and like the way that you do the bass drop and I think it just makes the breakdown like even that much better. It's like the icing on the cake.
Definitely.
Um, but again, yeah, but I appreciate that there's so many different parts to the songs, like it never feels stale at all.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. There were some breakdowns in there. I was there like shit. That's
Yeah.
fucking hard.
Yeah. I remember when we were listening to the mixes and when a breakdown came, we were just like, holy shit,
Yeah, no, it sounded
it
so
sounds
good.
great. The bass drops just makes it so much better.
I did not think it was gonna sound that good, honestly.
Yeah.
I did not.
We just wanted to make it sound big as possible.
Oh yeah, like I think as well, like a good judge for breakdown is like pre-production.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it still sounds hard,
Yeah.
and as soon as it's mixed, you're gonna be like, this is gonna be fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, a good job on them because they're like that.
Thank
There
you
were
very
some
much.
bits where I'm a sucker for a breakdown. Brad thinks sometimes that my music taste is literally just that, and he's right. I'm literally like the
Nothing wrong with
biggest.
it there.
I'm the biggest caveman when it comes to metal. If you just give me a
Me too.
breakdown, I'm just there
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Like, so yeah, well
For
done,
sure.
guys. That was sick.
Was like atmosphere important to you then? Because like again, like compare this and the Nocturnal Sickness, I feel like you really took the atmosphere even further with this, and I guess that's maybe again where the Cradle of Filth influence comes in, but also you've going from like you have like a Floridian death metal style in some sections, but like a lot more I guess like Scandinavian death metal influence, like because that's more atmosphere based, I guess, than what you'd get. So was that something that was important to you as well?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we just wanted to widen the music. We didn't want it to be just, riffs after another. We wanted to have more like traditional structures,
Yeah.
and then with the synths and the more atmospheric parts, we just wanted to, because we like evil sounding shit, and I like personally, and I know Jonas does too, like movie soundtracks.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Those have lots of like atmosphere, as especially like Star Wars soundtracks.
Yeah.
I love them.
Oh yeah.
So, we just wanted to maybe that was the influence, listening to movie soundtracks, and we just wanted to implement that to our music as well.
I think that kind of sound effect type approach adds a lot of dimension to music, and I think it worked out really well on this album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I think, metal lends itself so well to film soundtracks sometimes, and everyone that likes metal is a bit of a nerd. Like we all like our movies and games and stuff
Yeah.
like that mostly. So was there anything like besides Star Wars that like you think might have like been in the subconscious when you were writing?
Um, well, I can mention all the movies that I like, and I think they probably have like an influence, but it was more like just wanting to implement the feel and the atmosphere of having like big synth parts and just jamming out with instruments, because those parts are like our favorite to play live, because we can just jam out and feel the music. That's what we want to do.
Definitely.
We want to feel the music that we're playing, then we write, because that's super important to us. So I guess it's just from there, we just wanted to make big sounding songs.
Oh yeah. I think like, 'cause, like from speaking to like other bands as well, a lot of people will pull from like movie soundtracks as well, and I think it's because you can learn a lot about composition by
Yeah,
listening to a movie soundtrack, because like that is every song has to learn to a scene and has to convey a certain emotion, has to really fit but not be too distracting. So each individual element has to flow within each other, and I think like a lot of musicians can learn a lot from looking at that and how it's composed.
yeah, definitely. Because I'm like super interested in composing like orchestral music. Of course I can't, but I would like to learn more. So that's why I maybe listen to the soundtracks.
Oh yeah, like one thing that I found with it is like they always follow like the less is more rule.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Where it's like the less that you put into it, the better it becomes as a whole. And I think
yeah,
like it's such an important lesson to learn when you're wanting to look at composition, when you're wanting to like
yeah,
write your own album, because it is really important to realize it's like it's you have to find the balance of not overdoing it. And I think you
yeah.
guys did a really good job at composing the
Thank you.
album as a whole as well.
Yeah,
That's another thing that I noted when I was listening to it. I thought this already sounds like such a big step up from the last release. So I'm really excited to see what you put out in the future, because you've already learned a lot of lessons. It takes people a lot of years to learn.
yeah.
You've done it really quickly, so hats off to you for that.
Thank you
Thank
so
you. Thank
much.
you.
I guess, one thing about it, the orchestral stuff too, is, I think soundtracks also follow a storyline. And I
Mm.
think that's like super interesting when writing like death metal. You can also try to, have the songs arranged in a way that they kind of make the storyline in itself in the music. And I think that's super interesting too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
both are used as means of escapism, so why not lean into
Yeah,
pull
Right?
from each other as much as possible?
yeah,
It's not just about it's not just about music, it's also about the feeling of the music and everything
yeah.
around it.
That's so important to us to feel the music that we write.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely. Was there anything like as well with the concepts, like what kind of inspired that for you for this time around?
I don't think there was any certain concepts. Of course, with the music, we wanted to widen that. And I also felt with the lyrics, I just don't want to make 10 songs about killing zombies again. I didn't really
Yeah.
feel like they fit the aesthetic of the album. So I tried to implement some subjects to the lyrics that are more relatable to like normal people. But then again, when I say that, also makes me smile, because then we have songs like Death is Upon You, which isn't, you know,
It's not that deep,
it's not that deep, and I don't think too many people relate to
No.
fucking zombie war or something like that. But
It's
I
nice.
just
It's nice to have that still.
yeah,
Yeah. It's all
just
about the
love
balance, isn't
that.
it?
Yeah, which is, but trying to just, because I felt that the music was going so much forward, and I felt that lyrics and vocals were keeping it back. So that's why I wanted to go a little forward with the lyrics too, but not too much.
Oh yeah, like one thing that I also noticed is like the vocal performance in it is like I was saying to Brad before you jumped on. I was like, you know, if I closed my eyes in some sections, and just thought who's singing right now, I'd have honestly put money on Corpse Grinder in certain sections. Like I genuinely, I thought this. I was like, these are already executed so well. So like, was it something in the meantime that you constantly worked on, or was it the more you did them, the more comfortable you found yourself and were sort of found the way that you can actually produce your vocals a little bit better?
Yeah, I don't feel like I've rehearsed vocals, you know. We just played so much more live shows during, you know, after the release of our first album that I kind of learned how to sing live. And that for me was different because it was, you know, in front of people and I had to do it like many times back to back. So I kind of felt that I found a new way to produce the sound that I want to make, and it was so much easier to record the vocals for this album because I already know where I can find those like sounds which I want to produce. So yeah,
Comes muscle memory. I think his vocals, I've only been in this band for about a year now, and even in a year, his vocals have gotten so much better. Probably just through playing live shows. Honestly, it's top quality now.
Yeah, it's really insane, honestly, like because me and Nathan listen to a lot of albums and like the vocals really struck and I was like, this is some of the nastiest vocal lines I've heard all year. I'm
yeah.
like, so you just like completely like self-taught then? Are you just like figuring out in yourself, like not watching any videos, you're just like just doing it?
Well, I've been trying to watch some videos, but it's more with the high stuff, you know. I feel I can produce the low growls pretty good by myself. And even like I talked in the first podcast that I just tried to mimic Chris Barnes. So that's how I kind of learned because the band made me to sing. I didn't want to be a singer. They just made me, you know, one because we didn't have one. So I just tried to sound like Chris Barnes, but now I feel like it's evolved more to sounding like my own because I want to sound like myself. I don't want to sound like anyone else. So I feel like with the live shows, I've learned how to control my voice better and it doesn't hurt at all. You know, I can produce, I can go from low to high pretty easily. Or of course, always it doesn't sound good. Sometimes it sounds ass, but you know, that's just life. You gotta live with it.
Oh yeah, I think I think you've definitely grown massively because I was listening going yeah, as well as like playing live. That's a bit. I think that's probably one of the biggest lessons you can do as a vocalist because not only do you have to do what you've like learned how to do like like by yourself, you also have to learn to do it in front of people.
Yeah,
Have the paranoia that if you fuck up, it's the most audible one
Yeah, everyone's gonna,
they're gonna
everyone's
hear.
gonna know.
So like you're like, all
yeah,
right, I really need to nail this. But then on top of that, I think like it's such a like it's alarming how much it's like, oh shit, I've got to jump about, I've got to be energetic as well. So I'm gonna be knackered whilst I'm doing them. So I just have to figure out how to conserve my breathing whilst I'm
yeah.
doing that.
That's
So I think
something that I've learned like only with the live shows, how to reserve my energy for the whole show. And that's why we implemented these ambient tracks in between the songs, that there's like no silence in our live shows. There's always something going on. And that's a good way for me to breathe and just relax a little bit and just try to get reserve my energy for the rest of the show.
Yeah, there's not a lot of talking during our set. I mean, obviously some, but it's mostly just ambient track and thank you. This next song is
Yeah.
whatever, and that I think it's helped him.
Yeah,
I feel
definitely
like it
helps.
has. Yeah.
oh yeah, I think like it's such a smart idea doing that as well. Because the amount of bands that I see where there'll be like nothing in between and they could just the other bands are just like looking at the vocals like speak dude and they do
Yeah.
it but it's like you already know that guy's fucked. Like he's there like he's just had to do 3 songs back to back. He's already trying to catch his breath and he's just like yeah just for coming out
Yeah.
Try to get that
we're
quick
so and
sip of
so
water.
yeah they're just trying to get that sip of water. If you
Yeah.
have something in between at least it gives you a fucking breather where you can go
Yeah.
right what am I fucking doing now, okay yeah I'll do a bit of crowd work.
Yeah.
But it's like I've seen too many bands where it's just been like they end one song, it's like, oh, we've got a bit in the middle for you to fill, and it's like, and over to the vocalist, and the guy's like a deer in the headlights, like shit.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. So we've got another segment for you guys, a bit of a lightning round questions so people can get to know you guys a bit more. So just some like silly, non-related questions to music, some maybe, but so firstly, what would you guys' death row meal be?
Shit.
It's a much of a lightning round now.
Damn.
You're gonna answer first.
I'd probably go with the cheeseburger. I mean,
Classic,
Yeah.
you
if I'm
know?
gonna die, I'm gonna eat something that's not good for me, right? It doesn't matter.
It makes
anymore.
sense, right?
Burger and fries and put bacon in it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Cheeseburger
probably-
sounds awesome.
Yeah. Maybe some beer on the side.
Long drink
It's a
on the
good
side.
combo.
On the side.
Long drink on the side.
Amazing.
What about you?
I'll go with the cheeseburger as well. Everybody loves a cheeseburger, so
Yeah.
why not?
Oh yeah, and it's a solid
fuck it
pick
up.
because you don't know who's cooking it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
If yeah, like, I want something fancy, and they ruin it, it's like, well, great.
Yeah.
Well,
This is
then,
the one last thing I had to look forward to.
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
A cheese, like a burger's hard to fuck up though, so I think it'd be a safe choice.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah,
Nathan, you fucked up that smash burger for me.
yeah,
Actually,
no, fuck it. You said it were nice. You said it were nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not used to
That's
cooking.
a better
on
one too,
your,
bub.
I'm not used to cooking on your new space stage fucking electric oven shit. I'm used to a gas cooker, and it was like it was burning the fucking burger and keeping it raw at the same time. And I don't know how the fuck
Wow.
that's possible. It
That
ruined my
doesn't sound
brain.
natural.
Doesn't.
All right. And what's your guys' favorite film?
Ooh.
I know one.
Star Wars Episode 5.
Star Wars Episode 6. It's the best one.
No, it's not.
I will not argue about this.
We don't have to.
It's the 6th one. Return of Jedi.
5.
You know what? I'm leaning to Return of the Jedi as well.
There you go.
Because I'm
It's
not gonna
one.
lie, right? As a kid,
Has the best
I'm-
soundtrack. Has the green lightsaber. Luke Skywalker with the black outfit. It's the perfect one.
It is dope.
yeah.
Not that dope.
Oh no, mate! I remember well when I saw that green lightsaber. I was sat on my floor.
Yeah.
He ignites that fucker, and I was like, "They can be green. They can be fucking
Yeah.
green." And mate, green became my favorite color from that
Yep.
moment.
Oh, really?
It was mine too when I was a kid.
Oh
And
yeah, like,
Luke Skywalker has been like my favorite character for all my life.
yeah.
I think I first saw Star Wars when I was like 4 years old. My dad showed it to me and my brother, and I just been a nerd from there.
Same.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
what do you
gonna
think
do a
to,
hot take, and I'm gonna do a hot take and say I like Revenge of the Sith the most. I've always
Oh,
I don't know.
It's very good.
It's very good.
Very good.
It is. You know, I was very late into Star Wars. Nathan knows this. But yeah, I resonated a lot more with the prequels than the originals. So
Yeah.
I do like, the originals as well. But yeah, I love
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith, man. I love Anakin Skywalker. He's my favorite character.
Yeah.
so-
He's badass. He is very
He's my
badass.
second best character, but just Luke is so much more, I guess, sentimental to me from the childhood.
Oh yeah, like that's the thing. Like I think I grew up on like the OGs, the
Yeah.
OG trilogy, and I remember when I watched the prequels, they've grown on me now, but I didn't like them at first
Yeah.
because I was like it just didn't gel. I think it was partly because there were too much CGI in some
Yeah.
sections.
Definitely too much.
But yeah, and like I just thought it just didn't have the same magic. But after Disney has royally fucked it, I love them.
We don't need to talk
Lesser of
about.
two evils.
We don't need to talk about the sequels.
Terrible.
Mate, we don't even wait. The TV shows alone. I
We don't
like
even-
I'm hate watching
Well,
that.
I love the Mandalorian first 2 seasons.
That was good. Anything other than that was pretty trash.
Well,
Yeah.
I like Fear about now. The movies are the best, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be a movie. It don't Star Wars? I don't think will ever work well, except for the Mandalorian as a TV
Yeah.
show. It
It's
needs to
just-
be very linear. And
Yeah,
just
it's too
go
much
straight.
going on with the shows, and I don't think the like dropping one episode a week really works because then just people lose interest because they always end those episodes like in cliffhangers, and too much of that just is gonna bore people.
Star
yeah.
Wars universe is like too vast, I think, to release in bite-sized pieces each week.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be, like Nathan said, this is like one movie, I think.
Yep.
I think it's something you should look forward to because there's always been a huge gap between movies. I mean, after 3 movies come out, there's a big ass gap, and I think a part of the magic is waiting for the next,
Definitely.
episode or movie. And now that there's a new Star Wars whatever coming out every week, it's kind of boring and lame at this point.
Oh yeah,
It doesn't just feel so magical anymore to me.
Yeah, I've been hate watching Acolyte, and I've been trying to tell Brad to watch it just so I have someone to. Because I was like, you know what, I feel like Brad would like it because it's not that bad. I think if you're a new Star Wars fan, you'd enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, as an OG fan, you like this undoes.
Yeah, because
everything.
to me, I watched the Acolyte and I want to like it, because I love Star Wars, and I don't think it's that bad that people are saying in like the community, that there's been so much hate on the show, but it isn't the best. But I don't think that era of Star Wars, like before the prequels, even really interests me like that much. I would like to see more Luke and Empire stuff, and
the OG stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I've never been a Harry Public guy. I can't get behind it. I'm like, just seems just
Yeah, because
like,
it seems too nice, for them. Because I like the story of the first six, when Jedi are like oblivious to the fact that Palpatine is rising his power and making his way through the Senate, and then becoming the Chancellor and then the Emperor. So it was like a story of how the Jedi failed, and then Darth Vader came along, and then his son in the originals learned how to use the Force, and then killed Darth Vader and Emperor, and then saved the galaxy. And I think that's like a good story, and maybe should have just ended there. But I can make the decisions, and I could just try to like the new stuff, and I do like some of it, but not all of it.
oh,
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there. It's just a shame because I felt like Disney's just like really just ruining absolutely everything. Like Marvel used to be good. Now they're just
Yeah.
like there's just no care in it anymore. They're just like just wanting to churn out things as fast as possible, not giving people that are creating it like enough deadlines to be able to finish everything. So
Yep.
yeah. Fuck Disney, man.
I feel like that Simpsons
fuck
meme where
Disney.
he's like, "Stop it! He's already dead."
Yeah.
Like whenever something new comes out, I'm like, "Stop it! No, please."
All right. First album ever bought.
I think I got a Iron Maiden CD when I was like 5, but I don't remember which one. I think it was like a Complication CD that my dad bought for me, but I'm not sure what it was called.
I think it was Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses. I got into this album buying very late. I was working at a record store for like 2 weeks, and they had Appetite for Destruction on there, and that album kind of started my music journey. So I had to get it. It was very cheap. It was like in the sales section. I just got it, and I didn't get many more albums after that. Mostly Spotify, to be honest.
Was it like a C? Was it CD or like a vinyl?
Yeah, CD. I don't have a vinyl player, so don't really buy vinyls. I want to have a vinyl player, but they're pretty expensive, and vinyls are pretty expensive as well. Maybe someday when we're making money out of this.
So it's an expensive hobby
stop.
for sure. Yeah, I was gonna say Nathan knows worse than me because you buy a lot more vinyls than me, don't you, Nathan?
I buy at least like so since this year started, I've averaged 2 a month.
Oh
I've
shit!
averaged 2 a month. So I've got a case that holds 60. I've got 2 cases that hold 60 vinyl, and they're full to the brim. They're overflowing. I've put too many vinyl that need to be in there, so my collection's now capped at about like I counted it's about 150.
Damn.
Damn.
Yeah,
I have like maybe 30 vinyls, but I don't even have a vinyl player anymore, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with those. I want to keep some of them as a memory because I bought them, and they're like super important albums to me. And I don't think vinyl as a hobby is a bad thing. You can spend your money in way worse things than music.
Oh yeah, it gets like when you start going into like the OG, like really classic album collecting, that consumes you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
deep, like so deeply. I've bought so many like albums where it's like, yeah. But I'm like, after, like, I'm at when it got towards the end of the month, I'm like, why the fuck did I do that? Why did I do that? I could use that now. Like, when I'm just like, just completely skint. Yeah, it consumes you, really.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. But, I've got an OG copy of Hell Awaits by Slayer. So,
See?
That's
Right?
There you go. All right. Biggest fangirl moment.
You can say first. I have one in mind. It was recent.
Biggest fangirl moment. We were playing a show here in Finland in a town called Jyväskylä, and the bassist of Law Society came to see our show.
Wow.
I was always a very, very, very big Law Society fan, like ever since I was 14 or something. And he comes to the show, and then he also hangs out with us after the show until like 5 or 6 a.m.
I don't
in the night.
remember. I fell
He
asleep.
fell asleep. He doesn't know. But that was pretty insane. I never thought I would get to a position where I'd meet them. I mean, in this kind of position where I'm playing a show and he's watching my show, our show, and then hanging out with us after the show. That was insane. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Seriously, it's been like 6 months now.
That is awesome, though.
Yes.
Seems like a very nice guy.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is definitely. Well, my number one fangirl moment is actually from like 2 weeks ago. I was on this Finnish festival in Seinäjoki called Provinssi, and I got to see my number one band in recent years, which was Turnstile,
Oh,
and
wow.
it was, I can't even say how cool it was. I sang every single song. I didn't have any voice left, and I just felt so tired after the show. I don't know. I don't know how to defend myself. That was definitely fangirl moment.
Yeah, man, honestly, I remember when Glow On came out and like, because I wasn't turned, no pun intended, I wasn't turned on to Turnstile until like that album came out, and I remember just like I was listening to it on repeat for so long, and I was like, they've really just made a masterpiece of that, and you could tell by just how well it's received, turned them completely mainstream, but
Yeah,
like, yeah, wow, what an album, such a
yeah,
great band.
Oh, yeah. It took me years of asking Brad to listen to Turnstile. I was like, hey, listen to this. I think I must have sent him 5 different Turnstile tracks from different albums before Glow On.
yeah.
And then he had the goal to message me going, you listen to Glow On? I'm like, of course I have. I was like, yes, I've listened to Glow On,
Yeah.
Brad. But yeah, those guys are fucking sick. And they're like, it's really interesting, like the how that they pull now, because it's like it's a mixture of hardcore kids and then metalheads, and then also like artsy fartsy people as well.
Yeah,
Right.
And then
yeah,
like people that you like, I've never seen them at a show before, and they look like they look like they'd probably like in the meantime would also just go see like Post Malone or something like that, like a pop band.
yeah,
It's like
definitely.
they're very much connecting to every audience, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
cool to see like how much their music unites different kinds of people, and everyone
Yeah.
can just have fun at their shows and just listen to good music, and that's super
Oh,
important to me.
Yeah,
Okay,
completely
a
agree.
lot for like the genre as well. Like after that, because like it's that effect of all boats rise with the tide, where it's like they blew up, and now there's a lot more like view on hardcore. A lot of people have
Yeah,
got into
yeah,
hardcore from that album. So I think that they're a great band for it. They're also a great band just in general, but that from that album, there's going to be so many people now that it's like I get just seeing what the hardcore community is like and
yeah,
getting to experiencing that for the first time, and I'm really excited for them because it's a cool community.
yeah, definitely.
I think Low On
For
is
sure.
definitely like a entry album to hardcore. If you're not really into it, you listen to it,
Mm,
you're probably gonna like it. And
Then you can find more.
yeah,
yeah, no,
Oh,
I
yeah.
completely agree there.
It's them and
All
Not
right.
Loose. Them and Not Loose will be like the
Yeah,
Yeah.
champions of it.
and it's so funny with hardcore because Knock Loose and Turnstile like way different bands, but they're still kind of on the same genre,
yeah,
and that just shows how much there is to
it's a lot
that
of
whole
variety.
scene. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like it's such a cool scene because it's just a collection. Not only the bands that are big are just collection of people that like all this shit but they've just kind of they've also fell on to hardcore and love the community
Yeah.
side of it, so they make hardcore music but have so many influences. It's like we'll just drag other people into it. So it's just really cool to see.
Definitely.
For sure. All right, favorite Cryptic Hatred song that you've made?
Shit, you go first. I gotta think about this.
I got one in mind. It's from the new record. It's called Homicidal Intentions. It's our first single. And I don't know. I love that song. It works so well live. It's so easy to play, but it's still fun. Every time we play it at the rehearsal place, we just dance to
Yeah,
it.
go stupid hard
I
live.
love the structure. I like the choruses. I just feel like it's a great song.
For
For
me,
sure.
I would probably have said that as well, but you already took it. So I'm gonna go back in time.
You're not gonna say it.
I think I love Disposal. From their demo, from the demo Free from the Grave. I think it's fucking
Jesus.
banger, especially live. It's just like a caveman riff and another caveman riff.
And
then
another
it
caveman riff.
repeats. I love that caveman stuff, and people go pretty stupid during that song. So it's gotta be my favorite.
Yeah, man. I mean, sometimes that's all you need, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
it's just the best shit. I mean, I'll probably pick Chasm Avoid. I love that song so much.
Good song.
Good.
I love the outro of that song. It's so melodic and has a cool lead. Then even the new version has like piano and it has a breakdown, blast beats, has everything.
Cool atmosphere as well.
Yeah,
go-
it's like everything that you've got, you've got that like really heavy breakdown, but then you've got, like you said, the atmosphere leading it out. It's just like everything you could possibly want in a death metal song.
Yeah,
I'd
it's a
go
good
Homicidal Intent as well because it's
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I really like that song.
It's
Like,
a good one.
As soon as it kicked in, I was like, I'm gonna like this. Yeah, I'd go
All
that
right.
one as well.
All right, lads, I've got one more question for you. If it was the zombie apocalypse and you were trapped with only your bandmates, which member would you be most reliant on, and which member would you be least reliant on, and why?
Shit.
I know.
And
I would go.
you guys have made an album about zombies, so I expect you've thought about this at some point.
I think we have during some
We must
road
have.
trip.
Definitely must
I will
have.
definitely go with our drummer, Tato. He plays lots of games which have zombies in it. I know he would probably survive. So I would go with them. And the least, I would go with you. Not personal, but I wouldn't go with you.
I think he would die pretty quickly. I feel like
Top switch. I
feel
like
like
how he's about to say like you that
he's not gonna
like he-
survive for very long.
Yeah.
If I had, I mean, who I'd rely on, I'd probably rely on our bassist Miska because he has military training.
Oh, yeah.
He knows how to shoot guns. If we have guns, I also have military training. So if we have guns, I think we'll be fine. He's gonna be fucked.
I know I will be. I didn't know anything.
So we're probably gonna leave him pretty early on during the event, but that's what I'd go with.
I like to imagine that you're gonna like pick him as your best, and then like we said to you, and you're like, oh, actually, no, you'd be the worst, yeah. Like,
Yeah, I know I would be fucked. I don't know anything about, guns or anything. I would just take my AirPods and listen to Turnstile and fuck off. I don't know.
awesome, man. Well, yeah, thank you so much for coming on, guys. Like I said, it's an amazing album, and yeah, you should be definitely very proud of it. Still waiting to see you guys in the UK. Hoping that'll come
We're working on
sometime
that.
soon.
One day. We will promise. We will one day be there.
Amazing. But yeah, no, honestly, should be very proud of that album.
Thank you so much.
You.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. I really enjoyed the album. I'm really,
Yeah, thank
really
you.
excited to see what you guys come out with in the future because so far, banger after banger. So I'm excited to see the next banger.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having us. It was a pleasure.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
No problem at all.
worries.
All the
Thank you.
best. Take care.
Yeah,
You too.
all the best.